Hi YouTube, my name's Sean Connors and this is DM's Tips. Today we're going to talk about a subject that is very dear to my heart, one of my favourite topics in roleplay, and it's a very subtle thing, and if you've never done anything like this before, this is so worth checking out. I call this part Smoke and Mirrors. Now, Smoke and Mirrors is one of the great tools in a DM's arsenal. This really is for the DM who, if you want to go to another level within your gaming, there's some interesting things that you can do. So Smoke and Mirrors is really illusions, really, or tricks, if you like, a bit of magic, really. If you've never studied the art of a magician or anything like that, I would suggest do it. Basic props are very easy to find, they're very valuable, and they can give you 101 ideas how to use them in your games. Bring your games to life with small Smoke and Mirrors illusions and tricks. You don't have to be a good performer to pull them off, but there are certain things you can do. I'll give you a few examples of things that you can do. You know, dice are interesting. If you've got two dice, yeah, or you've got a dice, for example, some people don't even know that on a d6, that the top number that you roll, so if you roll a 5, the bottom number has to be a 2. If you roll a 6, the bottom number's a 1. It will always add up to 7. That's a small thing, but some people don't know that. Maybe your players don't. It's a great way of maybe introducing a gambling game and always coming up trumps. Another thing you can do is take a pack of cards. This isn't a standard pack of cards. I'll just mark one of the cards at the bottom here. I'll just put a line through it. I can keep that card at the bottom by always fanning that way. I can always keep it there, you see. So very quickly, the card is still at the bottom, and I'm not doing anything clever, I'm only moving my hands, and you can see that hopefully the mark card is still on the bottom. Now the beauty of tricks like this is that if you ask people to cut them, you can always put the mark card on top, and you know by turning that pack over, the mark card is there. So these little things, this is how magicians and various other people pull off quick illusions and stunts. It's so useful in your games. There's things that you can do that are fantastic. So you can make something that looks random actually pre-selective. You can actually work it out. I've spent a lot of time actually studying very basic illusions and tricks, and I do incorporate them into my games where I can, particularly where you've got somebody who's a gambler, perhaps where you've got something where you want it to appear random and you want to give the player a freedom of choice. So you can make certain things happen or appear to happen for a reason. You can find in all sorts of magic sets keys that are weighted and they will turn in your hand with a slight movement, actually look like they're alive. You will find all sorts of things that you can use for your games. Also as well, when you do your maps or your notes, which I would always suggest, think about the ways you can use them. You know, you've heard of mirror writing, do that. You've heard of those sort of tricks. You could have a picture where at the very bottom it's got the printer's press mark, a clue that where this was produced, so something for the players to follow up on. Anything that can do something more is Smoke and Mirrors, but is brilliant. I do all sorts of things. I get bits of paper, I'll create my own maps and I will tea stain them, and I will show this in another programme about some of the things you can do with maps and how quick and easy it is to do. But anyway, Smoke and Mirrors, if you've never done it before, as a quick recap, get hold of any sort of tricks, illusions and packs, and one thing I would recommend to anybody out there is get hold of, and I'll dig mine up at some point and show you in another follow-up to this, Svengali cards. Svengali was a magician, and the cards are brilliant. It's a pack that no matter how you cut the pack, no matter what you do, you'll always find the card you're looking for, and it's fantastic. It can have your players thinking in so many new ways. So Smoke and Mirrors, valuable to a DM, a great tip for an expert DM, a great tip for a beginning DM because it can bring your games alive. Don't forget resources around you, DIY shops, you know, for mirror tile finishes, all sorts of things where it's unusual. I found some brilliant tiles recently that look like old-fashioned or fantasy sort of flooring. They're really bubbly and they really feel uneven and not well made. Fantastic. Anything that can bring things to life that your players can touch, feel or interact with, winner. Anyway, I've been Sean Connors. This has been DM's Tips. Till the next time, take care. Bye-bye.